Hello, and welcome to the Ganru Show. I'm Golda.
And I'm Ganru.
And this is a podcast that's just like hanging out with your two best girlfriends.
We'll tell it to you like it is and not hold back.
In today's very special episode of the Ganru Show, which we've entitled, Drop This Knowledge, How to Be a Memorable Conversation Starter.
Drop this knowledge.
Drop
This knowledge.
Knowledge. Drop. So, let's get started.
We should never rap.
We should totally wrap
All the time.
an entire episode. In this episode that we call Drop This Knowledge, How to Be a Memorable Conversation Starter, we're going to talk about a couple of different things, and I'm going to throw it to Ganru, since Ganru actually had this idea to talk about this. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what to expect in this episode?
Sure. So this came about because when we record our podcasts, there's so many things that we discover, little tangents that we never really talk about thoroughly, right?
Yeah, little nuggets.
Little nuggets that get dropped by the wayside, and we're always like, we're going to revisit that. But we never do. So today I would like to collect some topics that have been on our mind that don't fit into any neat categories, which might be fun to talk about. But also, I guarantee if you bring up any of these topics at your next office party,
Wedding,
baptism,
work, happy hour,
workplace safety training,
breaking the ice at a spa,
in the sauna, or in the jacuzzi.
Yes.
These are guaranteed to get people talking.
Okay.
So you will be a memorable conversation starter for sure.
Okay. And why is it important to be a memorable conversation starter?
You'll get invited to more parties.
Mm-hmm.
Or get kicked out of a spa.
Okay.
Possibly.
And who knows? Maybe you'll be opening up some doors for yourself.
Right.
Or others.
Right. Also, it's a lot of fun.
Okay.
All right. So
Got
are you
it.
ready?
Yes. I want to hear your first memorable conversation starter. Drop this knowledge.
All right. So this is revisiting a topic that I had talked about in a previous podcast, which was the Eczema Cream, which has actually intrigued a lot of people. It's generated a lot of interest, hasn't it, Golda?
Yes. Yes. The unicorn, the seven swords. And this has, if I recall, has miraculously cured you of your eczema.
It has.
Okay.
And
what's the latest?
And of course, everybody kept messaging me about where they could obtain this product.
I had no idea that this was going to be such a nerve.
I didn't know.
You've hit a nerve with the eczema cream.
I had no idea.
It was just this avalanche of responses about your eczema.
It's an avalanche of people with messed up skin just trying to contact me. So the name of the cream is called invigorating.
Okay.
And I went on Amazon to try to obtain the official link for this product. It is gone. You can find many other sellers on Amazon, but they keep changing.
Oh.
And they exactly.
Like a rotating vendor list?
Exactly. Like it's almost like a illegal. I'm pretty sure it is not a legally approved product. So one vendor will pop up and you can buy it for a short amount of time and that gets closed down and another vendor will pop up. So it's becoming harder and harder to obtain on Amazon.
Like pop-up pharmacy. That doesn't sound very credible, does it?
It does not. It's more like this is a horrible analogy, but it's the only one I can think of. You know, like with drug dealers, they'll deal on a certain corner and they're like, oh, we can't deal here anymore.
Oh.
Too many cops. We've been staked out. And then they move to like another corner and like everyone knows it's near the 7-Eleven now. Then they go to that 7-Eleven.
So let me ask you, have you stocked up? Do you have?
Oh, hell yeah.
You have a lot?
I went to the best place to get shady stuff, eBay. 30 tubes for $20.
What? 20 tubes for $30? How long?
30 tubes.
$30 for 30 tubes.
30 tubes
for $20.
$20, Golda.
It's so unbelievable to me. I wanted it to be another way. Wow. That's how big are these tubes?
Shoot, I should have brought. We will insert a clip in our YouTube video of me holding the bottle and the actual packaging.
How long will one tube last you?
Years and years. Yeah. It'll last you a long time. So I'm
Wow.
good
So
for
you're
30
set.
years. Yes. So
Wow.
this is what I discovered because, as I mentioned, the links kept disappearing on Amazon, which made me really worried about
Yeah.
the validity
Yes.
of the origin. And sure enough, I did a quick search,
Okay.
Ganru and ingredients.
What did you find out?
I found a press release from the UK FDA.
Okay.
Okay.
And the UK FDA is very stringent, one of the most stringent in the world. Yes.
More
Yes.
so than the American
Yes.
FDA?
Yep.
Yikes.
Yep.
But not anywhere close to the Chinese FDA. The Chinese FDA, they're just letting this stuff come out of the country
Like nothing.
like nothing. Just to clarify, this is a Chinese sourced herbal cream, all herbal cream, okay, to give you some background. So, published on 28 Feb 18, the Department of Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency, MHRA of the United Kingdom, so the British FDA, has released a statement to tell people to stop purchasing natural, quote-unquote, Chinese herbal medicines. Eczema Cream was tested and found to contain 3 types of potent prescription steroids and an antifungal ingredient to boot. To boot.
Wow. As if the 3 steroids were not enough.
No.
They wanted to put some antifungal in there into the just just in case.
Just a little dab of that. Just in case.
Yeah.
What you have is a fungus and not like a skin condition. We got you covered.
Okay.
So they warn people to stop buying it and stop applying it liberally. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So for those of you out there who are interested in obtaining it, I'm sorry to say it will be more and more difficult to obtain.
Mm-hmm. Is there maybe another product that's comparable? That's a little bit more on the up and up that you can think of?
You can obtain all of these steroids with a prescription from your doctor because they are prescription-only compounds known for the treatment of psoriasis and eczema. They are compounds like clobetasol propoionate, ketoconazole, and myconazole nitrate. These are 100% correct pronunciations, by the way.
And that sounds a lot more legit than unicorn
Cream
and 7 swords. Wow. Okay. So now that we have this update on this cream, how would someone put this information into as a conversation starter?
Oh.
Remember the theme?
Oh, right.
Yeah, how would someone? So I think I might have a situation.
Okay, yeah. Tell me how.
So let's say you're at the office happy hour, and new guy is getting himself a Jack and Coke, and you notice
a Jack and Coke.
Yeah, at the happy hour, at the like after work happy hour.
Okay.
And let's say new guy gets a Jack and Coke, and then you notice that he has some blotchiness.
Right.
On his face.
Actually, this is perfect because there is no better way to bond with someone than to act like you're sharing a secret.
That's right.
Right. We talked about secrets.
Yeah. So I'm at the office, Chris. I'm at the office happy hour, and I'm the new guy, and you're trying to insert this information that you have as a conversation starter. And my name is Bill.
Hi, Bill.
Hi.
TGI Friday, huh?
I'm so happy this week went by so slow. How about for you?
Oh, went fantastically, especially because my neck is completely free of any aberrations and skin malformations.
That's great. You got great neck.
Thank you, Bill. Bill, I hate to point it out. I hope it doesn't make you self-conscious, but I noticed a little blemish on your neck, a little irritation.
Oh, I've had that since I was a kid. It's called eczema.
What?
Have you heard of eczema?
Oh, it's so interesting because I have a secret, Bill.
Tell me.
There's a cream that's illegal in the U.S. market, but you can still find it at unreputable sources. It's a magical cream. I'm going to send you the link, okay?
Wow, you're really cool.
Thanks, Bill.
Thanks for trying to help me.
You're welcome.
I know this is kind of weird, but what's the policy here on office dating?
No, thank you. I'm gonna go over there now. I'm gonna eat some crackers.
Okay.
You're right.
Okay.
Right.
Good.
Yeah, that would work.
Good scenario.
Right?
Good scenario that would be at.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So the funny thing about this particular conversation, drop the knowledge, is that it's always funny when something it becomes illicit, right? Or you can bring it up and just say, "Hey, I thought it was like this, and then this happened to me. Like, I can't believe I'm using." I was looking for an all natural cure, and I ended up using 4 types of chemicals.
Yeah.
But you know what? I will never give up this cream, Golda.
Oh my God.
The Food and Drug Administration and the DEA and a SWAT team can come to my house and knock on the door and then kick it down and use that baton. You know that big one that looks like
The battering ram.
battering ram. They could battering
Yeah.
ram. I will be in the closet with these tubes
Hoarding your tubes
of Eco-Energy
that you found on
unicorn
eBay.
on eBay. And they will not.
You know, I thought this was going to go another way. I thought this was going to be more of a cautionary tale because the UK FDA discovered all these things, and you're
No.
talking about the various pop-up pharmacies. But it really isn't. You're actually even more of a fan of this product.
Absolutely. And you know why? Because you can use a small, like a teeny small amount of this, and it can heal your skin and it can last you for a while. So, like I said, I even said this during the podcast, use discretionarily at your own risk. It's worked for me, right? And just use a little bit of it. Don't slather it all over your body
Like a sunscreen, a mineral sunscreen.
right, or coconut oil or something.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyways, that's my first kooky conversation starter.
Okay, well that's really great. So, in other words, a great way to start a conversation with someone who might be already very insecure about their fucked up face
Is to point it out and offer a
And then,
remedy.
and offer a
which is-
solution.
which is on the black market.
Yeah,
And then you two will share a secret and it'll bond you two even more.
yeah,
Right?
yeah. Well, I like
great,
it. It's
great.
unconventional, but hey, this is what this is. Memorable conversation starter, right?
Very memorable.
Well, I'm really
Okay.
glad that you gave us that update. I actually have a really cool one that's a little bit more of a down gear shift.
Ooh, okay.
But nonetheless, it's still very inspiring, and it's something that I read about, and it's in regards to this person called Anonymous Was a Woman. Have you heard of Anonymous Was a Woman?
No, but this sounds very intriguing.
Okay.
I'm intrigued already.
Okay, so Anonymous Was a Woman is a benefactor for the last 22 years who has given over $5.5 million to
Oh my
over
God.
200 women artists
Wow.
over the age of 40. So over the last 22 years, this person who's called Anonymous Was a Woman, it is finally revealed. So her big thing was she wanted to support women artists over the age of 40.
Very clearly because she only donated. It's like, what is she about? She only donates to women artists over the
40.
age of 40. What do you think her
I wonder how old she is.
I wonder who she relates to. But
She ain't a 21-year-old.
and
So we discovered that she's actually an artist herself. She finally disclosed herself, and
Told you.
she is an artist who specializes in photography, and her name is Susan Unterberg. Susan Unterberg. And one of the recipients that I found out who was a recipient of this grant, and each person received $25,000 if you were
Oh my
a
gosh,
recipient. So that's a
wow.
lot of money.
a lot, yeah.
Right? So $25,000. One of the recipients was the artist Amy Sherald. And you might know Amy Sherald as the artist who painted Michelle Obama's portrait
Yes.
for the National Portrait Gallery.
Beautiful.
in the
Very
UK.
unconventional portrait, but beautiful.
Yeah. And what I loved about Anonymous Was a Woman, now we know as Susan Unterberg, is the reason why she wanted to be anonymous for so long was because she didn't want people to confuse her artistry with what she was donating. So she wanted to keep those two things separately. And apparently
see.
she received this money from like an inheritance, I believe, from her father when he passed away.
Oh my goodness.
So
okay.
she took that inheritance. I mean, how unselfish, right? I mean, if I got an inheritance, I'd be on a yacht and you'd never see me again. Spend it all on myself. I don't care about anybody else.
You're like, I'm only interested in donating this money to people named Golda,
Who are under 40.
clearly under 40. Podcasters qualify.
Who have origins in the Philippines.
What city?
Cebu.
Specifically women. So, anybody out there named Golda from Cebu, Philippines,
Who
under 40.
Who at least once a week have a hankering for fried chicken.
Apply for this grant and you will immediately be funded.
Exactly. So anyway, she decided to keep it quiet, to keep it separate. But then
Cool.
recently disclosed who she was because she felt like in this environment, in this climate that we're in right now, that it's increasingly more important to actually show your face and to have a voice in terms of women's movement and women's rights. So an interesting statistic that I found was that women artists earn 81 cents to the dollar for every compared to the dollar that a male artist will make. And also an interesting statistic is that there are only 3 to 5% of permanent museum collections in the United States and in Europe that are for women that are geared towards women. So the rest are male artists. Interesting, no?
You mean 3 to 5% of the art is
So
created by women?
Yeah, so the permanent collections that you find in a lot of the museums all over the United States and in Europe, out of all of the permanent collections, there's the only percentage that are for women artists are anywhere between 3 to 5%. So in other words, 95% of permanent collections, another way to put it is 95% of permanent collections are male artists.
Are created by male artists.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. Created by male artists.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I felt like it was really interesting because her pseudonym of Anonymous was a woman. Actually, she took from a Virginia Woolf essay. And in this essay, it was about how women don't use their full names because they were not taken seriously in the artistic community if people knew that they were women.
Yeah, especially if you were a writer.
Yeah.
Back then.
So it was interesting that she said Anonymous was a woman, and she was anonymous for 22 years. So I really thought that was a cool little tidbit as far as how, kind of what we like to do is, women inspiring women, helping each other out. And I thought that was a cool way to do it.
So that was very inspiring.
Thanks, Wanru.
But I have a follow-up. How do you work that into a conversation to become memorable?
So give me a scenario and I'll fill you in.
Okay, let's say I'm getting an oil change.
At Jiffy Lube,
For
example.
Yes, and I'm in the waiting room. I'm looking at InStyle magazine or People magazine or, Motor Trend Weekly. I clearly have no interest in women's art. Go ahead and try to.
And are you a man or are you a woman?
Let's say I'm a man.
You're a man.
I'm going to give you an even tougher.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, is that your Ford Tempo out there? I see. It's a good looking car.
Thank you, Ford Tempo. I bought that car in 1975.
It's a beautiful classic.
Thank you. I think so myself. I like that avocado green.
I love it too. It reminds me of this really famous painting at the Louvre I saw. Are you familiar with a place called the Louvre?
What's a Louvre? A Louvre what?
It's called Louvre. It's a museum in Paris. It has like the Mona Lisa. You know the Mona Lisa, right?
I don't know. I don't know about all this art stuff. Paris? I don't know. That sounds fishy. To me. I don't know. I don't trust any of these artsy fartsy people.
I noticed that your suspenders were colorful.
No, thank you. Thank you. I got these in New Mexico.
Yeah, I think it's like a splash of color against that denim.
Thank you for. I appreciate that. Nobody really comments on my suspenders. I hand selected these.
Some people think that they're not artistic, but actually, I see a little bit of art in you. In how that little splash of color there.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, well, shucks. You know what? People think of me as like a dried up old guy. But I do feel like I have a creative side. I'm artistic in my own way.
Absolutely. You know, I read this really interesting article the other day about this woman who gave money to these women artists for 22 years, and she did it anonymously.
Oh, well, that's dumb. Why'd she do that?
I think because she didn't want it to be the focal point in her career because she was an artist herself.
She gave away money for free without anybody knowing who she was?
Yeah, that's right.
Sounds stupid.
No, she was actually really, really generous. I bet you've done a lot of things for people and not said anything and said that it came from you.
That's right. You're right. You're right. I gave my friend a ride to the airport, didn't ask for anything in return.
See?
Mm-hmm.
Notice that I am also trying to empathize, sidebar, by picking up his accent. That's an advanced technique.
Very advanced to be memorable.
I tend to... So here we go. See, it was a little bit, you don't have to get to it right away. You can kind of build up to it.
She customized it for this dried up old guy. I can't believe I just said that I'm a dried up old guy. Because that's exactly how a dried up old stodgy guy would describe himself. Yeah. Right? Anyways, the point is, I was trying to make it hard for Golda, but she wore me down with her friendliness and her knowledge of this knowledge bomb.
Yeah. You can always go every which way around, You got to try things out, And, you don't have to beat them over the head with it either, But if you find it in, you really tack onto that and really kind of dive in.
Warm your run. Get your foot in there and open.
Yeah.
Okay, off topic.
Yeah.
You know how not to be a memorable conversationalist?
How can you not be a memorable conversationalist?
Don't start imitating the accent of the person who you're talking to. I know that was just because Golda's an amazing person who picks up accents, but I had a coworker who would start using the accent of the person who's talking.
But is the person who is being imitated realize it? Because I think sometimes they don't realize it.
I don't know.
Because that sounds normal to them.
Okay, can you do like a Spanish speaking accent or what, or some that you would feel comfortable doing?
Yeah, I can well, I kind of do a kind of like a Cubano accent, like kind of like that,
This is good.
Okay, so what you want me to be? Like, what kind of person you want me to be? I can be anything you want, okay?
This is perfect. I wasn't expecting this. This is exceeding my expectations.
Oh my goodness, chupacabra.
What is this character's name?
I don't know what. My name is Ana Bolivia.
Ana Bolivia? Okay.
Yeah, my name is Ana Bolivia. I'm from Cuba.
Okay, all right. We're going to have a conversation about your jewelry that you're wearing.
Okay.
And then, or whatever you want to talk about. Food that you've eaten or what you did this weekend. And then I will be my coworker and I'm going to start with a standard Los Angeles accent and you'll see how she migrates over to
And what is your friend name? What's your friend name?
Let's codename Karen.
Hey, Karen. You want some of my lunch? I brought some lunch here. You can eat it? You like it?
Oh, Ana Bolivia. It looks delicious. What is it?
It's some ground beef, It's mixed in with some cilantro and some
ground beef, yeah.
And
cilantro.
Some
onions,
and then some rice. And then
nice.
I put a little bit of like a chile. Chile on top, and then you go eat it in your mouth, and then you kind of like, you just kind of like that.
I really like to eat those types of foods. Like I like chile, and I like onions. I like those types of ingredients.
Are you asking me a question? Kieran, you kind of sound a little weird. What's the kind of happening over there?
I'm just listening to you.
Why are you asking a question? Are you not sure? You know what? You should be more confident,
I am confident. I'm listening to you. I'm talking to you.
Oh. So anyways, you can get this stuff at the Vallarta? Va a irte al supermercado y se on Fair Oaks Boulevard in Pasadena. It's so good.
Okay, thank you, Anna Bolivia.
Sure, bye. I gotta go. Bye. That's my high heels as I go walk away. So that's annoying.
Right?
Karen just kind of picks up on accents. Is that what I do?
No,
Is that what I was doing?
No, you. That was a.
I wasn't trying to like be.
No.
I think I just like. I don't know why I do. That's interesting. I don't wonder why I do that.
So my friend, my other coworker, thought Karen, aka Karen.
Yeah.
That's the pseudonym for her. She thought that Karen actually had some sort of psychological disorder where she imitates people unknowingly. Did you hear there's a psychological disorder like that?
Is that real?
I don't know. Anyways, whoever she talked to, she would begin, like if the person was Chinese, she would start using a Chinese accent.
Boy.
If it was Puerto Rican, she would start using a Puerto Rican accent. And
Karen is gonna get her ass kicked.
Karen's going to have issues, right?
Karen better be careful.
I know. Anyways, that's a tip for what not to do.
Yeah, don't do that. That's not good.
Okay.
Okay, well, throwing it back to you now that we talked about my Susan Unterberg, artist extraordinaire. What's your other memorable conversation starter tip?
Okay. It's always fun to talk about pets, children, things that create good emotions in people, right?
I agree with that.
People love talking about food, drinks, things that just are pleasurable. So I saw something on Facebook and I was fascinated. There is a dog who knows 1,002 words.
Whoa, cute.
Her name is Chaser.
Chaser.
She's a 6-year-old female border collie. And I had seen another video, also courtesy of Facebook, about an Austrian border collie. Apparently, border collies are just like
They're really. I think they're one of the smartest, or if not like one of the top 3 smartest dogs, like dog breeds.
yeah. I mean, my coworker had a border collie, and he said he almost had like an instruction manual. Like he knew the words, and if you knew the words in this manual, you could just operate him like a remote control dog.
Wow.
Right? So because they're already kind of very talented verbally, I think it was not that hard for them to train them. But anyways, the previous record holder was an Austrian dog who knew like 100 words, and Chaser broke that record. And her owner's name is John Piley, and he's actually an 82-year-old psychology professor, retired. So who better to train a dog and teach him like give him psychological tests than a retired professor. So they had a Nova special where Neil deGrasse Tyson came and gave Chaser a test.
Okay.
Okay, so Chaser has 1,000 stuffed animals.
Aww.
I know.
Bubba.
What a bubba. That's Golda's word. Explain your bubba.
Oh, I always say Bubba to represent cute, like a cute baby that I see on the street, or an animal that I run into, or whatever. Whenever I think of some cute animal or baby, I say Baba.
Anything that tingles your ovaries, right?
Yes, an ovary tingler.
Another great conversation starter.
Trademark. Don't even think about it, citizens.
Don't try to steal that. Anyways, so Chaser has a pile of 1,000 stuffed animals on a tarp in the backyard, and this professor has taught her the word of every single one of these toys.
Wow.
So it'll be like horse, skunk, wizard, whatever the toy looks like, he assigns a word. Okay. And so Neil deGrasse Tyson came over and he decided to administer his own test. Neil deGrasse Tyson is a famous scientist and TV personality. So he selected 5 toys without anybody looking. So Chaser wasn't around, the owner wasn't around. He brought them inside the house. He put them behind the sofa so that the dog could not gauge from his body language what selection he wanted him to get.
Okay.
So Neil deGrasse Tyson had 5 items on a piece of paper. He put the 5 items behind the couch. He sat on the couch and he would say, Chaser, get wizard. And Chaser would look at him and be like, okay. And then she'd run back there. 2 seconds later, come back with a wizard in her mouth. Get horseshoe. She's like, okay. She goes and gets it. Okay, so she aced the test without any preemptive, like selection of the toys. Just randomly picked 5 toys. She aced the 5. So then he goes, all right, let me try to mix it up a little bit. So he put 4 toys that she knew. She had already learned the names of. And a new toy, which he snuck into the house she had never seen. And the toy's name was Darwin.
Okay.
Okay. So he began the test. Get wizard. She came back with the wizard. No problem. 2 seconds. Then he says, get Darwin. And she's like,
Nosebleed.
Drool. Craps on the floor. Evacuates her bowels. No, she doesn't. She just goes. She tilts her head a little bit. She goes behind the sofa, and you can see her like looking at all the toys. She's in a conundrum. She's like, well, that's wizard. That's horseshoe. That's whatever, hamburger, whatever. She knows the 4. And then she runs back and looks at Neil deGrasse Tyson again, like, what the hell did you do? And he says, get Darwin. She's like, nosebleed. She runs back behind the sofa. She brings Darwin back by process of elimination. She realized, I've never heard this name before. I've never seen this toy before. 1 + 1 = 2.
Wow. So what did that prove?
That's a smart dog.
He's so smart and cute.
Chaser's a genius. She's a smart baba.
Wow. How would you use this data to in a conversation? For example, so let's say that let's think of a scenario, like an everyday scenario.
Oh gosh.
We're at a speed dating.
Oh gosh.
We're in a speed dating.
How about this? Okay?
Okay.
When someone is really irritating you and they made a mistake at work, you can say, did you know there's a dog who knows 1,002 words and can deduce new items based on logic? And you cannot properly do mathematics? You can't sum these 4 items up on this receipt?
So
use it as a way to insult the person?
I see. So it's a narrative way to insult someone around the mulberry bush.
Around the mulberry bush.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's not a coaching situation.
No, it's not. I'm teasing. I'm
Okay.
teasing. I would never do that. I
Okay.
think it's a great way to lift the mood at an otherwise very dreary meeting.
Oh, how about you're at a birthday party for a friend that just turned 40. And you don't know anybody there. How would you strike up a conversation with someone who's a good-looking guy who's by the chips and dip?
Oh, yeah.
I'll be the guy and I'm just eating chips and dip.
Hey, Lance.
Oh, hey. Sally?
Yeah, Sally.
Yeah, hey, man. How's it going?
Oh, wonderful party that's being thrown today, isn't
Want
it?
some chips?
Sure, I love them. Are chips your favorite types of snack?
No, not really. I have nothing else to eat.
No, that's interesting that you talk about snacks, because did you know there's a dog who knows 1,002 words?
I didn't know that.
Just throw a wrench into the conversation. I mean, Lance is boring as a stump. I'm sorry, but Lance was boring. I don't know. I don't like any kind of chips. I don't know. I'm just eating. I'm just living. I'm just breathing and taking up space. Okay, Lance, let me drop some knowledge on you because you're a bore.
So what you're trying to say is when we have conversations, choose people that would be interesting conversationalists to begin with.
Or else you will have to provide. You'll be doing the heavy lifting. So get some stories ready.
Get some stories. I didn't realize we had this prerequisite to for the people that you're talking to. They have to be interesting already.
No, they don't.
Just a lot.
It's fine, but just be prepared to do some heavy lifting. True story, though. I told a story about how people are trying to train infants to swim just in case in the horrible situation that they fall into a pool, they'll have that instinct to swim to the edge. Why are you laughing? That is not a funny scenario.
No, but what I'm thinking about is that topic is very heavy and maybe not the best conversation starter.
Well,
So-
it worked. It worked. You know why?
Well,
because
tell
it's
me.
about something cute. So this goes back to my thing, which is bring up things which are pleasant or cute. Because
Drowning babies. Oh, adorable.
okay, maybe it's not the nicest image, but it's
Okay,
about
so-
babies who survive drowning.
Okay, so
Okay.
give me your what
So
happened.
basically, I said I've seen videos of people trying to train their infants from a young age. I mean, infant age. What could be a younger age than infant age? And they gently lower them into the pool, and you see these infants just swim automatically to the edge, and they do this again and again in a safe environment where the parent is right there, so that, God forbid, they ever fall into a pool or any body of water,
Yeah.
they know to go to the edge. So
It's
as
a
I
good
was
skill. It's a good thing to put your kids through.
right, and as I was telling the story at work, I could see my friend started to smile a little bit, and he was like developing a little bit of a internal chuckle
Why?
because he throws his chihuahua in the pool all the time. He just throws him, he just chucks him in.
Ew.
He just chucks him in the middle, and this poor dog has to like swim to the edge. He does it all the time. But you see, because of that funny image that he had and the warm association that he had with the baby and the animal and whatever, I saw him like warm up. It was like I work at a very dry place, but you could see it brought him a little bit of a bubba feeling. Because this is that warm, happy feeling he has whenever he throws his 12-year-old chihuahua into the middle of the pool.
So this story actually helped you get to know one of your coworkers a little bit,
Yeah.
albeit a very questionable method to bond with your chihuahua. And secondly, when I think about these conversation starters, I'm thinking about situations where you're with strangers.
Okay, Golda,
Right.
sorry
So like
about
if
that.
you're with strangers, like at a party or at an event that you don't know anybody, at a conference, for example, you're at the your works, in the industry, whatever industry you're in, you're at the industry mixer at
Yeah.
some conference like in another city,
Right.
and you're mingling and you're like, hey, hi, nice to meet you there, Jane. And you're from ABC Cosmetics.
Yes.
So, have you ever tried to throw a baby in a pool? I got a great tip for you.
Security. Security.
Oh, but I'm just trying to start a conversation.
Security. I know. That's rough. It's rough. Okay. That was my conversation starter. I didn't say these are smooth. These are designed to antagonize people and get them going.
It gets it charges up the neurons.
Oh, it sure does. It sure
right?
does.
It's kind of like that Friends episode. Remember when Ross was trying to pick up some lady and he said, hey, how's it going? Would you rather die by burning or by drowning?
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's got to be, a little sexier, maybe a little intriguing, right? But what you're saying is you're striking some, something unexpected.
Right.
Right. Okay.
So what was your second conversation knowledge bomb?
My second knowledge bomb was what's called the 100-hour rule.
See, that's already intriguing. That's another great technique. Anything that has a nice buttoned up name.
Yes.
Have you heard of the 100-hour rule?
No. Tell me all about it.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I wish I knew more. But,
Well, now
but
you
you see, it got her interested.
it got you thinking, right?
Actually, you could put rule on the end of anything.
Such as
Eczema Cream rule.
the Eczema Cream rule,
Amazon purchasability rule.
the pop-up pharmacy rule,
Pop-up pharmacy. Chinese ingredients labeling rule.
why unicorns should never be in cream rule.
If you say that, that's going to like intrigue someone, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. So the 100-hour rule is a question that was posed that asks, how would you use 100 hours to invest in self-improvement? How would you break it up? how would you break it up?
Oh,
Would you break it up 33,
I'm
33, 33? Would you break it up 100, 0? Would you break it up
100,
80, 10, 10?
Oh, I'm tired just thinking about this.
So let me tell you more. Because I'm not deterred. And people would admire your resilience in shoving down factoids like this down your throat.
This sounds tiring.
No.
100 hours of self-improvement.
100 hours of self-improvement.
Oh,
How would you
Golda.
use 100 hours of self-improvement?
By the way, this is not an act. I'm not putting on an act. When I first heard 100 hours, I was like really excited.
What did you think it was?
I don't know.
100-hour rule.
I don't know. I thought it was
100
gonna
hours of not eating.
be- No, that's no fun. That's
100 hours of fun.
Yeah, I thought it would be something like 100 hours of enjoyable things. And when I heard 100 hours of self-improvement, it became like 100 hours of homework.
Oh, interesting. That tells
Okay.
me a lot about you.
About, see?
So,
Yeah,
so
you got
it tell-
you got a reaction.
you got a
from me,
reaction.
didn't you? That was not fake at all, too. That was a real reaction. Okay, so tell me more. How do
So
you?
tell you more about this disinterested topic. I will. I will, whether you like it or not. So this is in regards to how would you use 100 hours if it was given to you on your self-improvement. So they asked successful and wealthy 1% people. And the study came back that they usually use a majority of that 100 hours. So whether it's 80 hours out of the 100 hours or even 100 hours out of the 100 hours.
That's 100%.
That's correct. Or 80%. So they would use this towards self-improvement on what they were already good at. So they would just build upon their
Oh.
strengths. So versus using those hours to learn something new or improve on something that they're kind of good at, they wouldn't use those, a fraction of those hours towards those things. They would actually use a majority of those hours building the things that they were already good at. And the idea was that people who are successful just become undeniably good at what they do, and they're constantly working at it. So that was the takeaway from that study of the 100-hour rule, that if you do have that time, then why not go for it? And actually, another thing that is suggested is if you are given, have you heard about this extra $1,000 rule? Like what you would do?
No, 100 hours, $1,000.
What would you do with one extra $1,000? And the people-
these numbers are bringing me down.
No, listen.
Okay.
So
I'm listening.
the 1,000, the people who are asked, if you found $1,000 extra that you could use for anything, what would you use it on? And
Okay.
people were saying things like, "Oh, I'd buy a really expensive watch, purse, whatever. I pay my bills. I'd pay down my student loan. I'd help pay for the rent, or I go on a
But
trip."
What would Warren Buffett do?
What you should be doing actually is looking at the things that you cannot pay for. So actually the best thing to use that $1,000 for is things that will save you time,
Oh, man.
not things.
Why are
But
these 1%ers so serious?
That's why they're 1%ers, because they've got this all figured out. See, I was like, I'm going to buy more succulents. $1,000 worth of succulents.
That'd be cool.
That's like,
That's awesome.
but
Right.
apparently I should have used $1,000 extra dollars to buy me some time.
Okay.
And you might
for
be
example,
thinking,
what would you have used? it
How
on?
am I going to buy time? You can't buy no time. This isn't Back to the Future.
You can pay someone to plant succulents for you.
Exactly. So you would pay someone to do the type of things that suck up your time. For example,
Okay, what would be your top things you would
Oh.
invest in?
going to the grocery store, doing laundry, cleaning the house,
Yeah.
cleaning the yard. Like that's several hours of my week,
Yeah.
right? And if you could pay someone to do those things, then you've just bought yourself time to do other things, building your skills,
Oh.
building your strengths.
Oh God. I'm giving you a hard time because these are hard things to do. They're good for you,
Yeah.
but they're hard, right? So
They could be built. They don't have to be hard.
I was gonna say, people are always trying to take the path of least resistance in life.
Is that you?
People, meaning Wanru, like to take the path of least resistance. So, when I hear 100 hours of self-improvement, it just seems like such a labor.
Oh.
And when I hear how would you spend $1,000 and it should be $1,000 of wee money, just like wee, it's gonna be fun. It's like use it to hire someone to get your oil change.
Yeah.
Which would actually be a huge help, but that's not exciting.
I'm really learning a lot about you, Wanru. Because from a previous episode where we talked about the marshmallow test, we talked about two different types of people. If you recall, you guys listening out there and watching, the marshmallow test was that test that they put these little small kids, 5, 6-year-olds, 1 marshmallow now or 2 marshmallows in 15 minutes. And Wanru and I, in a previous episode, named these kids. The kids who took the marshmallow then and there were called YOLOs. And then the kids who took the marshmallow, the extra marshmallow in 15 minutes, we called the drags.
Yes.
And you had said that you were a drag.
Yes.
And I was the YOLO.
Yes.
In this particular instance, it's the other way around.
What happened to me?
It's interesting. What I'm hearing,
happened to me, Golda?
What I'm learning is Wanru is highly complex. She cannot be categorized, as Nietzsche says. Wow. Do not put me in a box, something like that, but it was in Russian.
To be honest, I have been eating marshmallows this week. Just snacking them straight from the bag, just eating them straight from the bag.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know.
You're a rebel.
Oh my God.
I think you're trying to break out of your dragdom.
Well, that's what these types of conversations do.
You see, it's a springboard.
Okay, so how would you integrate this
100
100-hour rule?
Oh, in a scenario of what? Like what, for example?
Okay, we've done many scenarios where two people have conversations. So let's say, how would you advise somebody to implement the 100-hour rule? Give me okay, I got it.
Okay.
I got it.
Okay.
Elevator ride. You have 30 seconds to tell someone about the 100-hour rule in the elevator. Okay?
Okay.
It's someone that you like, that you want to get to know better, and you have the opportunity because you're trapped in an elevator with them. So you're going to use the 100-hour rule as a way to start a conversation. 30 seconds.
30 seconds? Oh, she's got a timer. Man, that. Tell me when. Hey, Lily, so I heard about this thing called the 100-hour rule. I'm sure you've heard of it, but let me tell you more. Basically, it's to build on your strengths and to build them within. If you were given 100 hours of self-improvement, I'd probably use it on my strengths. What about you? Also, yeah? Let's talk more about it at lunchtime, huh? You take lunch at 12:30? Me too. All right, see you later. Cafeteria, 12:30. You look great, by the way. Red's a good color on you. 5 seconds to spare, bitches.
Ding! The door opens.
So notice
and
how
Lily will run bolting out of the elevator, I'm sure. Good job. That was a stressful situation, Golda. Good job. Good job.
But again, I would if I could jump into a time machine and do that over again, I would probably try and get her to talk. But it was a one-sided conversation.
It was.
Sometimes you just need to do that though.
To
get your point across.
I agree.
Mm-hmm. So what is your other?
Okay, this is my last one.
Yeah, your last conversation starter.
Okay.
Again, the topic is drop this knowledge.
Drop this knowledge.
How to be a memorable conversation starter.
I think the theme here is that pick interesting topics that you think might be stimulating to people.
Agreed.
And
it's a much better offering than the weather.
Or what kind of chips the person likes.
Right. Or what a great hairstyle. Who cares?
Who cares?
But there's many jumping off points, right?
Yeah.
From any of these examples. It doesn't have to necessarily literally be these exact things, but this is the flavor that we're trying to introduce. What's your last?
So one of the ways that I develop my conversation skills is I research topics that people potentially would like. And if I remember something, then basically the more well-read you are, the more knowledgeable you are, the better you're able to conversate with all sorts of different people. So obviously I'm a woman, I'm Asian, I have my narrow field of interests, but I also...
You have a lot of interests. I wouldn't say they're narrow.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Wanru is probably one of the smartest, most well-rounded, open-minded individuals I have ever known.
Up until today, when she told me about the 100-hour rule,
Yeah.
I was just like, no.
That was a slight dog ear on that chapter.
No, I closed
Just kidding. Of
closed
course.
my mind off to the 100-hour rule.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
So I listened to the Joe Rogan podcast. His podcast is very male-oriented, but I actually find it interesting because you get to see a very macho, masculine perspective, and he brings on guests that would never, ever cross my path of where I get my news. And they're quite fascinating.
Okay.
So, for example, he did a whole podcast episode with a biohacker named Ben Greenfield,
What is a biohacker?
a person who tries to improve their body by self-experimentation and using radical methods.
Like Gyneth Paltrow.
Oh, yeah.
She's a biohacker, huh?
Yeah, she puts jade in her hoo-ha. You heard about that, right?
Jade?
Girl.
Now, I got my jade roller. I understand, but I'm intrigued. Why does she put jade in her hoo-ha?
Well, let me ask you, why would you put jade on your face?
It's a health natural mineral.
Yeah, what does it do for your skin?
It's supposed to help smooth out your skin and circulate. Ooh, she's trying to get circulation in her hoo-ha?
Whatever you just said, that's what she's trying to do to her hoo-ha. Rejuvenate.
She's really,
Plump
really
it up.
into her hoo-ha. Because I remember her also steaming her hoo-ha. She steamed it like a clam. Isn't that like the complete stereotype is to steam it? Come on. Right? Why is she? So she's steaming her hoo-ha,
And then putting a jade
and then she's
egg.
putting a jade in there.
Yeah.
Is she trying to escape from prison? Why is she doing this? No, I'm really interested. Then we'll go back to your Rogan guy.
That is
Why did she put jade
topic?
in her?
To rejuvenate, just like you're rolling jade on your face to rejuvenate your face and make it more youthful.
So do you think she's rolling the jade in her hoo-ha using Kegel?
I don't know. That's advanced.
That would be
technique.
really, really interesting.
She did recommend starting with a small stone and then working up to a larger stone. Like you're just
Like a stone like the size of a fava bean?
at first.
Oh, I was thinking more like the stone that you get like at like a hardware store that says dream
Yes.
or hope. Not that big. Like that you put in your garden. I've got one.
What
It
does
says
say?
create.
Yeah.
It's big though. It's like the size of 2 hamburger patties next to each other. So she doesn't put that in her hoo-ha. Ooh. I hope she washes that.
I think it's a jade egg. It's shaped like an egg and it's the size of an egg. And
Okay.
she could work up to the Inspire stone size.
I see. I see.
The Osh. The Osh.
The
home,
Osh.
Home and garden stone.
Home Depot. Yeah. Okay. Armstrong. Got it. Okay. So back to this guy.
Yeah, so that's a great female analogy for Ben Greenfield. And
Okay.
it's perfect you bring up that Gwyneth Paltrow is trying to improve her hoo-ha. Because Ben Greenfield's, like, the most notable thing he's done is
That's the guy that the biohacker
the
guy.
biohacker, and he was interviewed by Joe Rogan, is he did all these tests and weird things to his penis.
Ew.
So for a Men's Health article, he only had
For his health. For science.
okay, to be fair, he was paid by Men's Health, which is a magazine, to test out all these penis-enhancing technologies,
Okay.
and he had a very short time to test them.
How short?
2 months. Then he
That
had
seems
to
like a long time.
then he had to write the article.
Okay.
Okay, so things he did to his penis to try to improve the performance, size, vascularity, agility, girth, whatever. Whatever Gwyneth is trying to do to her hoo-ha, he's trying to do to his penis, okay?
Did he steam it?
Oh, good question.
Yeah. So what did he
Okay,
do exactly?
So he tried tons of stuff.
Like
And you know those tablets at 7-Eleven when you go to check out, it's like extends, like male performance tablets. Perhaps you're not looking, perhaps you're not seeing it. Maybe you're buying something else at 7-Eleven. But it's near the checkout. They have these tablets
Next to the Twix and the Lotto tickets.
right next to there.
Okay.
It's one of those things that, impulse purchases men might make.
Okay.
So he tried one of those. They're just full of stimulants like caffeine. He said he took 2 of these and he thought his heart was going to pump out of his chest.
Oh,
He thought he was going to die. He's like, I did not feel amorous. I did not feel like having sex. It did nothing to my penis. It just made me feel like I was going to have a heart attack and I was on speed. Okay. So he did all these things, which included putting some kind of infrared lamp on his penis. So not steaming it, but baking it.
It's like
microwaving it.
He's had like one big fry. It's like, the fries like at Burger King they put under a heat lamp. Kind of like that.
Explain what?
Because you know how like they try to keep like fries and hamburgers
in the
like
heat lamp?
hot, but the
Yeah.
heat lamp. So he was trying to do something like that, but use his penis as like as some French fries. That's dumb. What
Okay,
does the lamp do?
It's not the same heat lamp. It's another type of lamp. It emits a special kind of light that stimulates circulation. Okay. By the way, if you're going to talk about Ben Greenfield and his penis experiments, make sure you know your demographic, your target market when you're talking. Don't bring this up at like a christening or something.
Yeah, don't
right?
bring this up at the HR meeting.
No, definitely not. So he tried all these things. He tried the lamp, he tried the pills, and he even went so far as to extract stem cells from his own body. And they put it through a centrifuge and they separated out the stem cells and they injected it into his own penis. Oh. But he said it was miraculous.
What happened?
His penis got bigger, better performance.
Okay.
Visibly bigger. And long lasting, it lasted about 6 months.
The size of it
The enhancement.
lasted for 6 months,
Yeah.
but not. It was at 6 months.
No, it was not erect for
It was
6
just.
months. It was
so
bigger for 6 months. But perhaps his erections also lasted longer. Anyways.
Well, how much bigger did he get? Are we talking like
He didn't measure it, which is so stupid.
He didn't measure it?
Isn't that dumb?
I'm suspicious of that because men measure everything, right?
True.
Yeah, they've got their their Phillips and their measuring tapes and all that stuff. So he couldn't say
He
like
said he didn't measure it, but just by looking at it in the mirror, he could tell it was visibly bigger. So scientific.
So he wasted 2 months of his time
And practically killed himself, yes, for a
Wow.
slightly visibly bigger penis.
Okay. So that was the only thing that made it bigger was the stem cells.
I think the light worked well.
The light. Okay.
And so he would recommend that because that's cheaper than the stem cell. The stem cell is like extremely expensive, extremely dangerous, as you can imagine.
Yeah. Can you tell me what aisle the light bulbs are at? Is it? Can I know? Can you tell me what aisle the light bulbs are at? Because this is the last Target that I've been to, and all the other Targets don't have any more light bulbs. So can you tell me where the light bulbs are at?
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't work here. I'm actually a biohacker.
Oh,
But I can help you.
I saw your red top and your khaki pants.
It's so embarrassing.
thought
I
you
hate
worked
I
there.
hate it when I do this. I always wear red and khaki to Target. I
Oh.
hate that. So embarrassing. My
Yeah.
name's Ben Greenfield.
Yeah, hey, yeah, whatever, man. But do you know where the light bulbs are at?
I have an idea. You
Yeah.
know, next to the light bulbs, there are these really, really hot LED lights. I recommend you buy that. You buy a stand from the camera department, and you're going to shine that light on your crotch area. I think you'll find it very beneficial.
Look, man, I'm just going to my grandmother's house. Her porch light went out. Freak.
I'll help you. I'll help you. Take these LED lights for the porch.
penis, creep. So, in other words, even if you're approached with what seemingly could be about that topic, don't presume that that's what they're talking about.
This is a very difficult way to work something into a conversation.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I just wanted to use this topic as a guise to talk about Ben Greenfield and what a whack job he is. And basically how this guy is this is one of the many things he does to try to extend his life. So he's either going to live to 105 or he's going to die next year because He is always trying to improve his personal health.
What's he up to now? Did he say?
Oh God, he has a website, bengreenfield.com, where you can
Not that
follow.
we're advocating for this guy.
I'm
But
not
if you're
endorsing
curious.
it. I'm not endorsing this guy.
Okay.
But if you're curious to see what techniques he employs, then go for it.
Okay. Very good.
Okay, what's your last knowledge drop?
Well, mine, I think it might be slightly more dignified than a penis-enhancing subject.
Oh, is that what we were going for, huh?
So if you find yourself in a situation where you're with maybe folks who are activists or maybe women-centric, then this little tidbit might be for you. So this is something that I read about, and it's called an organization called Girltrek. Girltrek is a national organization that's devoted to the health and wellness of African American women throughout the United States. So the most recent activity and event that they put together was to walk the same route that Harriet Tubman walked when she was doing the Underground Railroad situation. So for those of you who don't know who Harriet Tubman was, Harriet Tubman was an activist and civil rights individual who was
Tried to free slaves, right?
Yeah, tried to free slaves and bring them to the north where they could be free men. And she walked 100 miles one way several times in her lifetime to bring individuals to Delaware where they were free men or free women.
Oh, geez,
So 100-mile journey. It was a 5-day journey, all on foot.
oh my goodness.
10 women. And they did it to actually go in her shoes, not only to help with health and wellness and to encourage walking, but also to point a spotlight towards what women can do and that it's not too late, especially in this environment. I thought that was very empowering.
Empowering, uplifting, thought-provoking.
Mm-hmm.
You're making me feel bad about my Ben Greenfield topic selection. This penis biohacker compared to women who are trying to honor Girltrek, who are trying to honor civil
Tubman.
rights historical figure Harriet Tubman. I feel bad now.
No, you shouldn't feel bad. I think that this is a great reminder of the power that we have within ourselves.
Yeah, and also you have to know who you're talking to. So if you're around
Yeah.
guys, try out the Ben Greenfield topic, and if you're around a group of women, try the Harriet Tubman topic.
Or, also if you're around guys who are very, open to learning
Yeah,
new things or cool, seem really cool,
that's exactly what
then
I was
you
gonna
can,
say.
yeah, then you can.
And
But
who-
the Jiffy Lube guy, maybe not so much.
and
the
then
the dry old man.
dried up old man. And I was gonna say, then try a swap, right?
What do you mean?
Swap the topics.
Such as like what?
So in the male group, I was about to suggest do the Girltrek conversation, and among the females, bring up Ben Greenfield and see what kind of reaction you get. You will be very memorable.
Excellent suggestion. And it's really interesting because when you brought up Ben Greenfield, I immediately thought of Gwyneth Paltrow. So I started thinking of similarities of other individuals and who knows who they might know. So again, these topics are good jumping off points.
Can I hear that noise again?
Which one?
The platform jumping off noise?
Foley. We need Foley here.
It keeps changing every time.
I don't remember. I have like early onset dementia.
I heard it was like boing.
Boing. Something like that.
We're gonna look back.
We're gonna
over the-
rewind it.
We're gonna
later.
rewind it.
We'll rewind it.
But that's amazing. This Girltrek organization.
Yeah.
Did
From Maryland to Delaware, 100 miles, 5 days.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I
That's
could.
20 miles a day.
Holy, that's like a marathon a day. A smidge less than a marathon a day.
My math is stellar.
Yeah,
My math is on point today.
Yeah, it is. It is really very good. Mine is not so much. Not today. Not any days. I'm good with my mouth. I mean, my conversation. But any homes.
But even things like that, you know what she said right now? Like, I'm good with my mouth. That, just the way she phrased it, that is a conversation bomb, right?
What do you mean?
That gets everyone all activated. They're going to be like, oh, what do you mean by that, Golda?
Yeah, and then you can single out the sexists in the room real fast.
Exactly.
Next.
Exactly.
Tip.
I was going to say, did you pick this 100 days and the 100... Wait, sorry. I'm getting them all confused. Did you pick this 100-mile thing because it nicely matched your 100-hour thing, Golda?
I'm so glad you made that connection. It was unintentional, but I think there might be some vein there. Some common vein. Is that the word? Common thread, not a vein.
That's fine.
English is not my second language.
That's fine. $1,000? There's like a lot of zeros. There's a lot of hundreds going on.
Yes. You found out my secret that I am transmitting top secret information utilizing numbers and activists' names.
And 10 women? 10 women did this trek, right?
Yes.
Oh my God. We're on to you, Golda.
Man, Wanru is the person that you bring to an escape room. And even though you're in a room with her and 5 other people, she'll uncover all of the solutions.
To be honest, I've only been in one escape room and I did not escape.
Oh. Why is that? Sidebar real quick. Why do you think you didn't do well at an escape room?
I don't know. I gave up.
Oh. Anyway.
Okay, anyways.
So that's my last thing.
Oh,
do you have any more nuggets?
That's it for me.
Okay. So what did we learn today, Wanru?
Let's take a moment to reflect. Even though I was giving you such a hard time about it,
yes,
I must say your 100-hour rule will stay with me.
Why?
I'm going to think about 100 hours that I can spend on self-improvement. Although it sounds like a drag, I have to keep in mind that I'm going to be focusing on things that I'm already good at.
Yes.
Right? So it should go smoothly. Because if I spend 100 hours on learning income tax codes, I will not get any better, and it's going to be horrible and a miserable experience. Yeah. But if I spend 100 hours on petting dogs, which I'm already very good at,
yes,
it's going to be an enjoyable experience. And God, dogs are going to love me.
Yeah, and they'll learn 1,200 words. Yes. You can help them learn 1,200 words.
Oh my gosh, Golda. I was just joking about that, but you're right. I can train my dog. I have a dog. Possible border collie mix, unknown origin. Maybe I could see if I could start and train him to learn 3 words, which would be amazing.
Yeah, and don't trick your dog either, like Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Oh, yeah?
That was kind of a dick move that he brought in that other. That wasn't cool, man. So what's his name? Chaser really showed you, smarty. Smarty pants.
Golda just called Neil deGrasse Tyson. But
here is my knowledge.
Drop.
Okay, just kidding. Respect.
Mad respect.
Mad respect.
Yeah. Okay. So Golda, what
yes.
about you?
Well, what I learned today was that really hot sources of light can stimulate circulation.
We'll just leave it at that. You figure out where to put the light. We're just gonna drop that knowledge on you, and you figure out the rest.
Until then, I'm Golda.
And I'm Monroe.
This has been The Ganru Show. Please feel free to check us out on iTunes, on Instagram, on our website, theganru.com. If you are so inclined, we'd love to hear from you. You can email us at theganru@gmail.com. And we would love to also get reviewed. If you could kindly look at that, we'd really appreciate it. Until next time, we'll see ya.
Bye.
Bye.